24-hour music challenge. Hi everyone, it's Johnny Seed here again. Now I'm going to be doing a challenge video. Yes, so anyone who spent more than 5 minutes on YouTube these days can't help but notice that everyone does challenge videos. And I thought, why should I be any exception? Now I know there's a couple flying around at the minute. I know there's a 50 album challenge, so I'm going to be combining some elements of that. But also my main challenge today is to listen to music non-stop for 24 hours. Yes, it's the 24-hour music listening challenge. Not really a challenge, it's not something that you probably find too difficult. Just a bit of fun. I'm basically going to try and see how much music I can get through in a 24-hour period. Now I know you're thinking, John, all these 24-hour challenges are bullshit because people have to sleep. Yes, and I'm no exception. The days of me pulling an all-nighter are long, long gone, not without any serious consequences anyway. So I am aware that I will have to sleep at some point, but I got a solution for that. I'm going to listen to the radio. I'm going to have the radio in the background. So if you want to be pedantic, you could call this hearing music for 24 hours challenge. But also to make things a little bit interesting, I'm going to see how many different formats I can find and devices to play on. So I guess that's challenge number 2, the how many different formats do you have challenge, and maybe even the how many different devices and bits of hardware can you find. Obviously there's going to be a lot of vinyl, there's going to be some CDs, maybe some cassettes and whatever else I can find when I have a rummage around, and I'll try and see how many different things I've got that I can play music on. Yeah, so the 50 album challenge, I've worked it out. There's no way I can do 50 albums in a 24-hour period, not unless they're extremely short albums, the you know, maybe Kanye West albums or Ramones albums. But I'm going to do a big chunk of them anyway, so I'll total up at the end how many I've got through and then see how many I've got left. So I don't actually have a plan of what I'm going to listen to, but I'm going to try and make it stuff that I have not heard in at least 2 years, or even that I've not heard at all. So it'll be a good opportunity for me to fill a few gaps in my musical knowledge. So it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, so we will start here, and I will begin with a random pick. I'm just going to grab a piece of vinyl out of the stack and see what it is, and we shall start, and I'll come back and show you what I've been listening to, as and when I listen to it. Okay. Right. Random. Let's just grab one. And it's going to be, fantastic, Gong. Camembert Electrique. Oh, look at that. Nice Virgin label. Right, so, yeah. Bit of Gong. I have not listened to this for at least 2 years, which is handy. Right, that was Camembert Electrique by Gong. And if you didn't know, this has a one of those audio bits, yes, there's bits of audio on the run out. Repeating forever. Okay, I'm just going to do another random pick and see what we get. Oh, Dark Side of the Moon. Have I listened to that recently? Yes, I have. So let's try again, shall we? Jimmy and the Isle of Wight. Okay, no, not heard that for a while. Right, so change of format. I'm going to listen to it on cassette. Nielsen Schmielsen, which I'm going to be playing on my old hi-fi on the tape. Superb. Okay, so pick 2. Oh. Hi, Herb. So the next pick is going to be a CD, and this is a CD I got from Bandcamp. I think the artist is called Mitternacht, and the Herbie is called Walks. If you see my room tour video, you would have seen me pulling this out and me asking myself the question, what is it? It's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks on it, so I'm going to find out. So yeah, this is like a, I guess you'd call this handmade. And it's there you go. So I'm curious to remember what this was like, so I'll give it a spin. So here's the actual CD. It's one of those ones that are made to look like a vinyl. Grooves on. Little what's that? restrelaxrecords.co.uk, and a little insert. So yeah, great. Look at this nice little package, all sort of handmade. So this is what it sounds like. Ambient. Right, let's do another random pick, shall we? listened to that one recently. OMD. OMG. This is, check that out, £3.49 from Ames Records and Tapes, and also a Virgin sticker, so you can go figure. Right, this is the self-titled OMD. What's the one on here? This has got Electricity on it. I think it was the big single. $9.80. Any requests, Mo? Yeah? Okay, see what I can do. Oh. Right, and as per Mo's request, we have some Focus. Moving Waves. Okay, so I think next I'll just grab a random CD from here. Zappa. Tinseltown. Rebellion Band. Not heard this for quite a while. Another random vinyl. John Fox. Okay. Metamatic. Now I've not heard this in a long time. Ever, actually. You know anything about it? It's one of my brothers. Alright, that was John Fox. Metamatic. I've heard that one before, it was okay. Very electro, I like the synths on it. Very electro boy. You've ever seen My Boosh? Right, next up, I just pulled this one out a minute ago. This is the Skids, The Absolute Game, an album I'm not familiar with. This is one of my brothers. I do know who Richard Jobson is. He was a bit of a TV personality doing art programs or something back in the 90s and the 2000s. Yeah, so I don't know if this is going to be any good. It could be alright, and in which case I can say the Skids are alright. Sorry. Okay, that was Skids, The Absolute Game, and it was alright. Actually, yeah, it's pretty good. Better than expected, actually. I'll probably give that one another listen. Right, next up another tape. Now, I just realised I barely own any original tapes anymore. I don't know what happened to them all. So anyway, I've only got a couple. So this one's going to be Live at Last. Check out that font. Oh, and here's the inlay card. As you can see, this is Spanish. This is Madrid. So, let's see it. Tomorrow's Dream, Sweet Leaf, Hilling Yourself to Live, Cornucopia, Snowblind, Children of the Grave, War Pigs, Witched World, and Paranoid. Can't wait to listen to Witched World. And I'm going to play it on this. Right, I'm going to see if I can grab a random 12-inch. Ooh, Jezebel Spirits, Brian Eno and David Byrne. Good choice. Okay, so we've got a brace of Herb, out of the way. A brace of CDs, indie CDs from the 90s. Graham McCracken Vinyl recently did his Indie and Me, talking about Grebo, and he mentioned a couple of these bands, Pop Elite Self and the One Stuff, and made me realise I've not listened to these for a while, so I'm going to give them a spin now. Right, and in the spirit of finding different devices to play things on, I'm going to play this CD on my PlayStation 3. This is the One Stuff, Hup. Okay, so I just finished listening to the Poppies and the Stuffies. I erroneously described them as 90s indie, both released in 1989. I was more than familiar with but I'm familiar with them more in the 90s. I've forgotten how many lyrics off this album I remember, and just how good this one is. It's excellent. I'm going to be giving this one a listen again. Yeah, Herb agrees. Right, so we've done CDs and done some vinyl. I'm going to do some streaming now. I'm going to do some Spotify. I'm going to listen to an album I've never heard before. Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Right, just finished listening to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and it was excellent. It came out in 2010. I can't believe it's taken me 9 years nearly to listen to it. Yes, hell of a life. That was a great track as well. Okay, so we just hit the 12-hour mark, and I think before I hit the hay, I'm going to spin one more CD. Oh, it's not good, is it? It's going to be this one, The Moon and the Melodies. This is a CD that my brother picked up back in the 80s. And I've always seen it around, but never really paid much attention to it. Didn't know who it was by or anything. But turns out it's a collaboration between the Cocteau Twins and American minimalist composer Harold Budd. And it's classed as being ambient pop. So hopefully this will be suitable listening for late evening.
And then I decided to hit the sack. And no, I don't mean punching myself in the genitals.
Late night vibes. Morning. Well, I slept okay. Did wake up a few times. Yeah, that's true. Mo just said it. We're not going to listen to my beautiful dog Twisted Fantasy just for the first time before you go to bed. Just heard that going around my head all night. Okay, so it's the next day, 7:30ish. I'm not had any coffee yet, so I'm not going to faff around with the turntable. I'm just going to grab a CD. CD. I know these top ones I've listened to recently, so I'm going to put them there and just grab one from here. Alright, I've never heard this before. I don't think, have I? Seven Ragged Tiger. Might not had it for a while anyway. I'll still wait and see. Right, so that was Jermaine. It was alright actually. Very pleasant enough for a first thing on a Sunday morning while getting coffee. Right, so I'm just going to grab another random vinyl, and then I'm going to try and plan a bit more. I need to pull out a single, a 10-inch, and see what else I've got. Okay, let's get this one here. Oh, Depeche Mode, Broken Frame. Okay, not listened to this for quite a while. Okay, a couple of CD singles now. Sisters of Mercy, This Corrosion. Fantastic track. Would you call this another format? I mean, technically it's just the same CD as a normal album CD, but with less less information on it. So, don't know. What do you think? This is a CD single, a 3-inch one. This is David Sylvian and Reiichi Sakamoto's Forbidden Colours. And only get this out. There you go. On a mini 3-inch CD. Okay, in order to get another format in, I'm going to listen to something, or watch, I guess, on VHS. Now, this is one of my compilations from the 80s. You can see there it says John's Funky Muzak Tape. Not necessarily funk, no, this is everything. I used to just, as you can see, this is number 8. I think I got up to about number 13 or 14. I used to just fill up tapes of stuff off the telly, usually Chart Show, any music program that was on. I'd have a tape ready. Anything that took my fancy, I just record. So yeah, I don't know what's on this. Judging by the number, it's probably going to be, I don't know, probably more rock orientated, or even heavy metal. Let's see. Okay, this is probably something like Headbangers Ball, or what was the other one? Power Hour? Yeah. I think I only got Heathen Set Me Free, okay. Right, just rewind it a little bit because I just want to play this riff because it's so good. Not this one. Oh, this is pretty good. This bit. Yeah. Bit of Metal Church. is Anthrax. Yes, it is Metal Thrashing Mad. Brilliant. It's too early in the morning for that. Okay, so for a 10-inch single, I'm going to go with this one. This is The Motors, Love and Loneliness. Now, this doesn't come into the category of stuff I haven't listened to recently, because I only got this in the last few months. However, I'm going to give it a reappraisal, because the first time I heard it, I wasn't crazy about the A-side. I know James Griffiths is a big fan of this band, so I'll give it one more go. And the B-side as well, obviously. Right, so I put the B-side on first, because there's no information on this label, I had no idea. So yeah, B-side, Time for Makeup, far superior to the A-side, in my opinion. Okay, so for a 45, I thought I would spin this, because it's been a very, very long time. Because it's been a very, very, very long time since I've heard it. And got quite an interesting package. This cover art here. Now they... looks like, it reminds me of an artist who used to draw for 2000 AD. There's a name there of O'Neill. I'll have to have a look and see if that's the case. And there's a price tag there, £1.25 from Rainbow's End, Cowley Road, Oxford. Right, and strangely enough, I noticed that my copy here, there's the actual disc. It's got two sleeves, and I say sleeves, but it's actually a poster. So there's the inside. Some information about Sinister Ducks, and it comes with a cartoon. So yeah, so it's like a poster sleeve. I don't know if they're all meant to have two or not, but yeah, there's the other one. Alright, let's give it a spin. Okay, this is the Sinister Ducks. Okay. Right, I'm just looking on Wiki. Well, I just did a Google search for the Sinister Ducks, and it turns out that one of the members of the band was Alan Moore, the comic book writing guy. Him. A guy who did Watchmen and many, many other things, and also a guy from Bauhaus. So interesting. It doesn't actually say what he did in the band though. Whether he just wrote lyrics or whether he was actually playing any instruments. If anybody knows, let me know. I'll be interested. Oh, and yes, the cover art was by Kevin O'Neill. English comic book illustrator best known as co-creator of Nemesis, The Warlock, Martial Law and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And he did actually write for 2000 AD, but draw for, sorry, excuse me, right. Okay, so now we're into the last hour of the 24, and so I think I've probably got time for maybe just another couple. I do need to go out soon. Right, so the last one I'm going to spin... So I'm going to spin this one, Landscape, from the Tea Rooms of Mars. And I can't remember what this one's like. What do you think from the cover? I'm thinking experimental ambient electronic, but we could be wrong. Should we find out? I should have given it its full title, From the Tea Rooms of Mars to the Hellholes of Uranus. Well, I couldn't be more wrong about it being ambient electronica. Okay, we are drawing to a close. 24 hours is almost up, but I've got to go out. I've got a train to catch, so I'm going to get one more album in on MP3 on my probably now vintage Sony MP3 player, and I'm going to go with Espers 2 by the band Espers. Oops, disappeared off the screen. There you go. Yeah, definitely recommend Espers if you like folky psychedelic sort of music. So that was my listening to music non-stop for 24 hours sort of challenge, if you include the 7.5 hours I was asleep and listening to the radio. Managed to get through 18 albums on 8 different devices with 12 different formats, or 11 if you want to say that the CD single is technically a CD. So I'll leave that one up to you to debate. As far as highlights go, as far as records that I hadn't heard before or hadn't heard in a long time, I'm going to have to say that the pick of the bunch was the Kanye West album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Yeah, I was blown away by that in some parts. I'm not going to say it's a perfect album. I have to give it a few more spins, I think, but there was some bits in there I thought were amazing. And also I enjoyed the Duran Duran album, Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Now, somebody's mentioned this before on the VC about Duran Duran. If you're sort of my age, sort of mid to late 40s, and you grew up in the UK, you kind of have this image of Duran Duran of just being like a boy band, really, because they were the band that all the girls in school had pictures of on the wall. And so, but the music was actually really good. We kind of ignored it for so long simply because it was, you know, pop. Girly pop, you know, apart from the Girls on Film video, which I remember us all eagerly watching around at someone's house because she had it on tape, but that's a different story. And also the Pop Elite itself album was really good. I'd forgotten how much fun that was. As far as low lights goes, I suppose the Landscape Tea Rooms of Mars album was a bit of a disappointment. And the Sinister Ducks one was a bit difficult to listen through, but who knew that Alan Moore made a record? Well, yeah, with a couple of guys from Bauhaus. Yeah. So I'm just curious to know how many devices you would have in your round, you know, available for you to listen to music on. Have you got rid of everything apart from maybe your turntable and a computer? I'm sure there's people out there with far more different varied items and bits of hardware than I have. I mean, anyone with an, you know, if you had an 8-track or a DAT player or a mini disc player, that would count. So, all in all, I quite enjoyed the experience. I'm not sure I'd do it every week, but it did push me into sort of buying, you know, it did push me into listening to stuff that I hadn't heard for a long time. And, you know, so I'm going to try and carry on with the 50 albums challenge. I think I'm going to break it down maybe into a few smaller chunks over the next couple of weeks, and I'll see how I get on with that one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Okay, Mum, any requests? Any requests, Mum?